What if in Endgame, you know, when Tony Stark's been like debating back and forth whether he wants to help or not, everybody get back, and he's like, I don't want to lose my family. It's all great and everything. The moment he invents the time travel on that little hologram thing, the TVA just shows up and arrests him and takes him away, and he's just out of the
nope.
out of the timeline.
What up, movie buffs? Thank you so much for stopping by for our finale review of the Disney Plus series Loki. Like, I have to set it up. Be like, you know, have you heard of that show Loki? It's on Disney Plus. Yeah, of course, everyone has. And joining me to discuss this, as he's often done in the past several weeks, and for the past several Marvel shows, I'm joined with Holden Hardman. What's up, Holden?
Hey, how's it going? Thanks for having me over on your channel. Appreciate you guys. If you watched the reaction Jeremy and I did on my channel, thank you for hopping on over. I want to talk. There was a lot of exposition, I feel like, in this one. Not necessarily a bad thing, but a lot of discussion, a lot of revelation. So I want to get into all that for sure.
Good. And because there is a lot to go over, we're probably going to run just a little bit longer than what the shows have been in the past couple of weeks. So buckle up for a slightly more in-depth conversation than usual, because yeah, man, there's a lot to talk about. The episode opens up with a kind of travel through space, right? Like I felt like it might be a little reminiscent of 2001 A Space Odyssey or something like that, but you're getting all these cool little historical sound bites, like these huge pivotal moments throughout human history. And one that I picked up on was the Neil Armstrong one giant leap for mankind thing. Did you hear any that like grabbed you?
Yeah, I actually watch the episodes with captions on, so I can see who everyone is. They had Maya Angelou, Neil Armstrong, they had Greta Thunberg, Malala was there. So they mixed the Marvel like quotes, I could do this all day, with like real people. So I thought that was an interesting choice.
But of course, what we're seeing is the two of them traveling through that wormhole portal that Eliath opened up for them in the last episode, to end up at the very end of time to find out who is this person, he who remains. And so they show up at this kind of creepy haunted house thing, and one of the first big moments of the episode is Miss Minutes fucking popping out of nowhere. I
knew it. I said it out loud. I go, we knew it. We knew well, she wasn't the main one in charge, but we knew that she was the snake. Is he who remains his actual name, or were people right that it was Kang? That was a big conspiracy, or fan theory. Was it Kang or not?
So yeah, I'll eat crow, man. Look, I'll say it right now. I hate to be wrong, but I was wrong. I said, and I'll roll the clip right now. You got to introduce him early on. And I think
it's just screenwriting 101.
This is a dumb Mephisto theory. There's no way. I don't even know who Kang is, so it means very little to me. And he wasn't named as Kang in this episode.
I was actually going to say how much I enjoyed his performance. I was gonna say, if he's like a serious character, I could understand the disappointment, but he made it pretty clear that there are variants of him that are different. So this version of Kang, or He Who Remains, could have just been the silly one, and the actual villain, the one that they sort of teased with the statue in the TVA at the very end, could be the more traditional comic book Kang. My point is that they're probably going to appease everyone, and they can do that with the multiple timelines and multiple variants and stuff. So
yeah, I actually agree with you. I liked what he was doing. It was definitely a choice. It was distinct, and it was not what I would expect. Not that I had really any expectations, but when you hear about, this Kang guy, he's going to be the next phase villain, and then you are introduced to him, and he's pretty unassuming. He's also eating an apple the very moment you meet him, and you're like, hey, that's a thing to show that he's smug. So the point that he reveals to Sylvie and Loki, this is exactly what was supposed to happen. He led the way. He brought them to him.
I really enjoyed the choice that he gave the two Lokis and how that all kind of unfolded. I think that this episode, kind of being we have to reveal everything, it's the final episode of the season, I guess complements episode 5, which I felt was, and I still kind of feel was, the highlight of the entire series. Yes. I just felt seeing all the Lokis together, Richard E. Grant there doing his ridiculous thing, Eliath, I think that was the peak. And then this is kind of just like the little bit of that fan service, answering questions, making more questions, but I enjoyed it. I also am surprised, and maybe I'm just being naive, about Loki actually changing when confronted or when given the opportunity to have the throne, you know, and not just the throne of Asgard or Earth, but like time, like everything. And he seemed to me to be genuine.
In addition to this conflict that's going on there, while Loki and Sylvie are fighting to kind of decide the fate of the multiverse, also Kang lays out the whole thing about the multiverse. Ravonna is confronted by Mobius. Mobius basically says, you know, you can click your little button thing to bring in the TVA, but it's not going to play out how you expected it to, because he revealed him and B-15 got to the bottom of what was happening. So they brought the TVA agents to where Ravonna was still like a teacher or something like that, the other variant version of herself, revealing to all these agents that, hey, if the person in charge is a variant, it proves that we're all variants. And so the TVA kind of starts to unravel at this point. And I'm curious, like, for me, the idea of the multiverse feels so ominous, even though it's attached to free will.
I don't know to what extent Loki will affect the rest of the MCU. Seems like, you know, it's all canon, I guess. It's all a part of it. So how will this affect our journey so far? Will this affect WandaVision? Will this affect the first Avengers movie? You know, to what extent? Maybe these are questions that will be answered in Doctor Strange, the Multiverse of Madness, where maybe the whole movie will be about Doctor Strange trying to fix it, Scarlet Witch being maybe a villain, or vice versa, or something to that effect, where they're trying to correct it. Because that feels like an area where Doctor Strange would come in, and he's supposed to protect, you know, the realms. Does that not include our timeline as well?
I feel like all in all, this ended up being a pretty good show. It didn't disappoint me in a way that I'm sure that some people are going to be disappointed, and it didn't overwhelm me with you know, love and adulation in the way that I'm sure it will some people. For me, it hit the positive side of the spectrum for sure. There are elements of the series that I really loved, in particular the premise itself and the world that was created for it. For me, I'm gonna go with out of 10, I'm gonna go with a 7.5. Holden, what do you think about a rating, quantifying it?
I'm right at a 7.5 too. I feel like this show was great. I feel like it was really good. It had some highs. It had some filler, I guess. I think easily the best episode is episode 5.
Yes.
Episode 6, I feel like, was that good answering questions. They tried to give us a little bit of action with the two Loki and Sylvie fighting. Otherwise, there really wouldn't have been anything. It would have been all exposition. So, introduced an interesting villain, how they'll handle Kang and all that stuff. So, a good little finish there, but overall about a 7.5.
What are your theories about the MCU moving forward? Let us know down in the comment section. Also, as Holden mentioned at the very top of this video, you can head over and check out our reaction to episode 6 of Loki on his channel. There will be a link down in the description. If you enjoyed this video, do me a favor, take a second to click the thumbs up button. It really helps the channel out. And if you want to stay up to date with all of the terrible content, all you got to do is subscribe, click the bell to enable notifications, and then cross your fingers, because sometimes those notifications don't come through. Hey, you can just check back every couple days also. But thank you very much, and on behalf of both me and Holden, be terrible.
Owen Wilson did not get to ride a jet ski.
Oh, the
I'm
injustice. Yeah.
Ticks me
Dang
off,
it,
man.
Holden. I'm going to change my score now.